Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I pretty much just posted a Life Edition Q&A, so this is going to be the Gymnastics Edition Q&A. So let's get right to it, because there's lots of questions. So question number 1, have you ever thought about quitting gymnastics and what made you stay in it? Growing up, I had wanted to quit gymnastics a couple times, but they were all fear related. So like whenever I got like super scared of a skill or got a really bad mental block, I would be like, I don't want to do this. Like I just didn't want to deal with getting over that fear because I felt like in my head, like it didn't matter what I did, I would still be like terrified. So I honestly just had to look and see like how far I've come and what I've overcome. I had to really look at my goals and see if it was really worth quitting just over being scared of something, or if I could find a way to push through and reach my goal. And every time I was afraid of something to the point where I wanted to quit, I pushed myself through it because I knew my goal. I wanted to be an elite gymnast. I wanted to be a college gymnast. I wanted to do great things in gymnastics, and I knew I wasn't going to let a skill stop me from doing that. So it's really just about mindset, and you have to really want to get to where you want to be in order to get over that mental block or fear or whatever's keeping you from going forward. Okay, question 2. Favorite part about being on the Gators gymnastics team? I love our meets, our Gator Nation. Everyone that comes to watch us is so amazing. You guys are awesome. Thank you for coming and watching us and filling up the O-Dome. Question 3. Do you miss elite gymnastics? I miss it to an extent. I don't miss like the 2-a-day workouts, the ones where you like are really crawling out of the gym, but I miss it a little bit because I knew that I was being really productive and I was working really hard and I was getting better. But I really do miss competing in championships. I love competing on podium like that. And I love that kind of platform and stage to compete on. And I also miss competing internationally, especially in Iceland, and those meets like that. Like those were like the highlights of my career. I feel like I had so much fun competing in all of those meets, and I think that really competing in those meets like kind of shaped like who I was and what I wanted to do. Question 4. Has floor always been your favorite event? Yes and no, because it goes back and forth between floor and beam. So I think floor has always been my favorite event, but beam has also been my favorite event because I love dancing and you do that on both, so they're both my favorite events. Question 5. What is your favorite competition leotard? Most definitely the leotard I wore on day 2 of championships in 2017, and I'm going to show a picture. That Leo is the most stunning Leo I have ever seen or worn, and I love how I was able to design it with the little finger straps so that I could have the fabric go all the way down my hand to go with the character of my floor routine. There were so many jewels all over it, and honestly when you like held it up, it was heavy for the amount of like rhinestones on it. So that was my absolute favorite Leo. Question 6. Do you enjoy gymnastics, and what age did you start? Yes, I enjoy gymnastics a lot. I love performing. I love doing it. I love everything about gymnastics. And what age did I start? I started when I was 3 years old. Question number 7. How inflexible were you when you started gymnastics? If so, how did you improve? So first things first, I'm still inflexible. Very. And that's just because I am super tight. And I have to work on my flexibility every single day. That is not something that has come easy to me at all. So I would say my best bet is to do over splits on higher mats and just really focus on spending time on doing splits and stretching and all of that, because it does not come naturally for me at all. Number 8. What is your favorite floor routine? So I would definitely have to say my favorite floor routine was the one that I did in 2018 when I was just doing open competitions before I went to college. I called it my puppet routine, which I'm going to show a clip of it. But that one was most definitely my favorite floor routine because I loved the character, I loved the music. I was just able to really get into it, and I loved that. Number 9. What are bad training days in college like? Well, bad training days in college are like bad training days anywhere. You just have to push through it and keep going, and just know that, yeah, you're a little off that day. That's okay. It's going to be better tomorrow. Or just keep working until you get it better that same day. Just don't take it too hard on yourself. Everyone has bad days. Question number 10. What is your favorite memory from Elite? So my favorite memory would probably be 2015 championships when I made national team. It was a rough weekend of that meet because in podium training before the first day of competition, I had a really bad crash on beam. And I got a hematoma on my thigh/groin and on the opposite knee. And then I broke my big toe and pulled an ab. So I was like, you know what, there's no way I can compete. But I was like, you know what, I really want to try and get through this because I know I can do it because I knew I could. And so I fell on beam both days because I couldn't put my legs together. But somehow, even with falling twice, I made the last spot on the national team. And I had tried my hardest on the other 3 events. And so I was just giving it all that I had because I wanted it so bad. And I ended up making the last spot. And that was probably the best moment in Elite because I knew that my hard work had paid off even with that little setback. Well, it was kind of a big setback. Number 11. What was your favorite competition? So my favorite competition was the Reykjavik International Games that I competed in 2017. That was my all-time favorite competition because I had so much fun. I didn't put any pressure on myself because I wasn't qualifying for anything. So I just went out there and I really just did my best, and I had the time of my life. And the atmosphere was amazing. The country is beautiful, and we got to sightsee afterwards. So that experience in all was made it my absolute favorite. Number 12. What was your biggest challenge in gymnastics? My biggest challenge in gymnastics has always been fear. Whenever I was afraid of something, I had such a hard time getting over it that was most of my setbacks. Was either I got in my head about something or I was just scared to do something. I was afraid of not doing the skill right or something like that. So I've always had a problem with fear, but I've always gotten over them every time. So I think that's the biggest thing is as long as you get over the fears, it's okay if you have them. Okay, so we're on the last 2 questions now. Number 12. Did you ever try rhythmic gymnastics? So from the other question of somebody asking me if I was inflexible, the answer is yes. So therefore I have never tried rhythmic gymnastics, and I probably never will because I don't have that kind of flexibility. Last question of this Q&A. What got you started in gymnastics? So this is sort of a long/short story. So I was actually born with a kidney problem called hydronephrosis, and the tube that drains your kidney was actually too high. So my kidney never drained properly, so it started like accumulating fluid in there and started like getting bigger and not draining, and so it started to die. So at 3 months old, I actually had kidney surgery, and they took the tube and reattached it down lower so that it would drain, and they shaved off the dead part of my kidney, and so that I actually still have the scar from that. I don't know how, because I've had so many other scars that just go away, but this one never went away. So that's kind of strange, but anyway, off the note of scars. I had to live on antibiotics for the first 5 years of my life because I kept getting bladder infections and kidney infections and things like that. So I had to stay on the medicine just to keep those from happening. And so I really didn't have an immune system, so I was sick all the time. And obviously my mom, Brandy Johnson, she owns a gym, so I was in the gym like every day. So the doctors actually told her that it would be really good for me to get into gymnastics so that I could build my immune system. And so I tried a couple Mamma Mia classes, and I stayed in gymnastics for a little bit, and I ended up loving it. So I am where I am today because of that. And that is all I have for you guys today. So those are all the questions for my Gymnastics Edition Q&A. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video.